you need to make sure that you know all the ins and the outs of flying. It's not, you don't get experience just when you fly. You need to do some homework behind the scenes as well. You need to have yourself current all the time so that you don't miss out on anything or forget anything or something like that. So you must make sure that you are on top of your game. And I think that's one of the biggest motivational things within aviation as well. Just that keep on going the whole time.
Hello, Jacques.
Hi, Petra. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. And you?
I'm fine, thanks. It's so lovely to meet you here on Zoom.
Likewise. Thank you so much for postponing the other day. I'm really sorry for that.
That's absolutely fine. Jacques, tell me now, you are a commercial pilot?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. And in South Africa?
Yes, that's correct. I held a ICAO commercial license. So yes, I guess that makes me a commercial pilot then.
Oh, okay. But tell me about your training. Where are you exactly in the process of? So you're a commercial pilot, but first you just get your private license, and then you move on to being a commercial pilot. But you need a certain amount of hours.
That's correct. So you start off with a SPL, so student pilot license, and then you get your PPL. So from there on, you gain your commercial pilot license, and you need to have 200 hours for that in order to receive the license. And then it goes further to the airline transport pilot license. Okay. And for this, you need 1,500 hours. And this is where the whole aviation industry becomes difficult, is to obtain that hours in order to pursue the career, to advance in your career. Not a lot of people take you in with less amount of hours. So that's at this point, I'm trying to get to 1,500 hours to get my airline transport pilot license then.
Okay, so this is there's that situation where it's almost that catch-22 situation where you need the hours, but you need to get the hours you need the experience. So it's that.
So that's the difficult thing. In order to get the hours, you need experience, and for insurance purposes, you need hours, but you can't fly because you don't have the hours.
Yeah.
So it's a big catch-22, and that's where it becomes so difficult.
So you are basically now in this training part, or this gaining experience part, but it's also not the cheapest industry to be in, or the career to pursue. So tell me, let's start first. I want to know, what was it about aviation that intrigued you? Why did you want to follow this career?
So at first, to be honest, I wanted to become a lawyer. When I was a small boy, my dad used to be a judge, so I wanted to be a lawyer. Then I wasn't that interested anymore. My dad passed away, so I wasn't interested in it anymore, and it didn't fascinate me as much. And I was as any other boy in school. I really didn't know what to do when I'm done with school, what to do going forward. And I had the privilege to speak with one of the SAA captains at the time, and he was also a very, very big Air Force pilot. And he actually convinced me, or well, not convinced me, but the way he sold aviation to me, the way he spoke about aviation to me, and the way he explained his career to me, that is what got me to start the aviation industry, basically. And from there on, I never looked back.
Really?
It was some tough times. There was some ups and downs, and as any other career, but I've never looked back since. I said to myself, I'm dedicated to this, and I want to fly, and I'm going to fly. And even though it takes me X amount of years, this is what I want to do. So, yes.
But this is really all you need to be successful, is to have that drive and that to make that decision that you want to do it.
Exactly.
But now, do you train now privately? So you have to get the funds privately and do you get any sort of, is there a school, like a training college or something that you go to in South Africa, or how do you do your training?
So at this stage, I only need hours. So I'm trying everywhere to get the odd flights, to fly here and there, to when you know some people that goes on a charter or anything, just to hop on the flight. And if you have the specific ratings on the aircraft, you get on the flight and you log the hours. Okay. So I'm trying at this stage, there's a lot of other expenses I need to cover as well. So it's not at this stage financially advisable for me to go to a school to hire and fly, because that's also what the guys do. They save up a bunch of money, and then they go to the flying schools. They hire and fly, let's say 5 times a month or 2 times a month, and then they just gain hours from there. But I'm also just trying to hop onto every flight that I can possibly get, just to get the correct amount of hours.
And now also COVID didn't help, and the fact that the world came to a bit of a standstill. Was that also, did that affect you as well?
Very much. So I got my license just before COVID, like a year before COVID. So, I mean, then when I got my license, I could start pursuing the career, basically. And then it just came to a stop. It completely stopped. I was retrenched at work where I used to work, and I had to do a lot of other odd jobs, because now I'm sitting with a fresh commercial license with no experience. There's no jobs. All the airlines are retrenching people. So all the big captains and all the people that has thousands of hours needs work, and they get the jobs obviously before an inexperienced guy will get the job. So then I ended up doing completely different stuff. I was just to keep my head above water, doing all odd jobs that I can, trying everything. And aviation is slowly starting to build up again. Eventually, I got a new job within aviation. That's the other thing I said to myself is, I don't want to go into a career now or try and pursue something new to keep my head above water, and then I get stuck there and I can't get back into aviation. So that was also a very difficult situation I was in. So to maybe move away out of the big city where all the aviation jobs is and stuff like that. So it was a very difficult decision and difficult time. But luckily, it worked out. It worked out for the better.
So now you've got a job in aviation, but what exactly do you do now?
Yeah, so I'm working for National Airways Corporation currently. So I'm doing base manager work for them, being base manager on outstations all over the world, and then also being flight coordinator for the Medivac department within the company. We have a very big Medivac division. So all the logistics, all the quoting, all the planning, that's also what I do at this stage.
Okay, but now, what exactly? I mean, what does this job entail? How does your day look? For example.
So when I'm in South Africa, we are about 6 guys that works shifts. We have a morning, afternoon, and evening shift. So then, whenever there's a medical quote that comes through, you need to do the quoting. You need to send the medical company the quote. You need to make sure that the airports that we go to is suitable for the aircraft to go to. Basically all the logistics around a flight to dispatch and come back. That's what we do every single day. And then when I'm not in South Africa, then we have contracts with various of clients. So then I'm basically the NAC representative outside the country. So I'm the go-to guy when the client needs something. I'm the go-to guy if there's any issues that needs to be sorted out on the base actually. So that's also a 6-week rotation. So it's 6 weeks there and 6 weeks back.
Okay. But now all this is so interesting for me because this is what I spoke to Joanne Jordan as well. And she said there's so many aspects of aviation, like you're saying now, that it's not just that the fact that you fly the plane, but it's all this coordination that needs to happen. And of course, on an airport or a base, it's this coordinating of flights taking off and flights coming in.
So that's correct. So I believe that being a pilot is literally that's just the tip of the iceberg of an aviation company. That's basically the end result, if I can say it in that way. I believe, and that's where I was lucky enough to get positions in aviation that entailed the administrative side and the operational side. And I think at the end of the day, it makes you, I can't say I'll be a better pilot than the other guy, but it just gains so much information at the end of the day, because you know what drives the company. You know where everything comes from maintenance planning to sales, to dispatching, to everything. You actually know when you get into that plane, then you know where everything came from. And that's in my opinion, that's a great thing to know.
Yeah, I think it brings understanding as well, for who is involved in it's almost, it reminds me of the theater, because you see only, when you sit in the audience, you only see the stage, but when you go backstage, you see the costume designer or the makeup artist and the people who push all the things around, and it's the same thing. I think of the airport like that, like everybody doing the thing to get the people in the plane to where they want to go. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that also helps for a better employee relationship. If you get the knowledge and the understanding of what's happening behind the scenes, you as pilot know that when something maybe goes wrong and something is not exactly as you want it to be now, you actually know where it comes from, and you know maybe how to fix it, or it just creates that better employee relationship between each other as well.
Yeah. So now, and you say this is now also a time where you can, where you need to have flying experience, but luckily you are in the industry, so you're not completely isolated from where you need to go.
Yes, I'm very lucky with the management team that is above me at my work at this stage, because they allow me, whenever I'm off or whenever I'm not on duty, they allow me to still go fly those odd jobs that we were talking about earlier.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to jump on planes whenever there's a chance to get on it. So even sometimes they fly their planes and they allow me to get on the aircraft. So I'm very, very privileged and lucky to have these people as my mentors, as my bosses, so that I can still grow and still pursue the flying aspect of the aviation.
Yeah. And for us, when we think about, 200 hours or 1,000 hours, it doesn't sound as much, but when you start flying and you fly, it's an hour and an hour and an hour until you reach that 1,500 hours. So it is a lot of time that you are investing to get to that point. Do you sometimes get impatient, or is it sometimes a bit demotivating when it doesn't happen as quick?
No, definitely. So I was actually speaking with one of my colleagues earlier today, and I also told him that you get so discouraged because you see these people. There are some people that are at the right place at the right time and they get flying. Other people get the office job at the right place at the right time and you don't. So it's literally waiting for your turn to get there. And yes, you do definitely, you get impatient a lot. And that's actually why you need the friends within aviation. You need to make friends with everybody. And as soon as you get onto a flight again, or somebody expose you, one of your friends expose you to something new, or maybe just a random flight, then immediately you're back into it again. Like it changes everything as soon as you do that 1 hour flight again, even though you did a flight 2 months ago. This is the first time you fly in 2 months. It's really worth it to just jump on again and then get motivated and go forward.
Well, I think also, like you say, speaking to people in the industry and hearing everybody's story, because this is really for me so interesting about your careers, how extremely dedicated you are to be able to pursue this career without the constant gratification. It's a long time, it's a long periods of time, like you say, that you have to just stuck it out until you get the next part, or until you get a promotion or get to the next level. So I think it's very interesting how you persevere in this industry.
And at the end of the day, when you have a commercial license and you have, let's say, 500 hours, and the other guy that's, can I say, competing with you for this new job has also a commercial pilot license, and he also has 500 hours. So at the end of the day, everybody is quite equal. So you need to be a bit better than the other guy in some way. And that's also very difficult because flying is flying. And that's why you need to be dedicated to make sure that you are excellent in what you do. You need to make sure that you know all the ins and the outs of flying. It's not, you don't get experience just when you fly. You need to do some homework behind the scenes as well. You need to have yourself current all the time so that you don't miss out on anything or forget anything or something like that. So you must make sure that you are on top of your game. And I think that's one of the biggest motivational things within aviation as well. Just that keep on going the whole time.
But how long since you started? Where are you now? How many years have you invested now in flying?
So I've started in 2015. I started with my student pilot license in 2015. I got my private pilot license in 2016. And then from there on, I just went about it to get my commercial license. A lot of obstacles, a lot of ups and downs. Eventually got it, and now it's the next hurdle. So it has been an odd 6 years now since I've been in the aviation industry.
But from private license to commercial license, was that also just you had to have an instructor with you, or was it you could fly solo and just build up your hours, but you couldn't have passengers with you?
So when you have a private pilot license, you can still fly with passengers. The difference between a private pilot license and a commercial license is literally just that you can earn money for flying.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's the biggest, and that's what people that's what confuses people when I say I have a commercial license. That doesn't necessarily mean I fly commercially. Like I fly for a big commercial airline. That just means that I can earn money for flying. I can legally ask for money for flying. So when you have a private pilot license, you can fly anywhere, but with passengers, just you can't ask for money. So when I had my private pilot license, I was hiring flying. I was doing everything that I can just to get to the amount of hours that I need for the commercial license. And then from there on, you can actually ask to fly for someone and just to get a job basically without paying for it.
But now in South Africa, with SAA going bankrupt and Comair and many airlines, do you see a future for you in South Africa? Are you going to pursue your career there?
So that's a difficult question because the world is so big, and I always tend to tell people that, because everybody asks me, so, and I believe that that's maybe one of your next questions, but what is the plan going forward now? Like, what do you want to be and what do you want to do? So at this stage, I really just want to get flying. I just want to get experience. I can explain it in a way as a doctor. If you go study medicine, I can't say all doctors are the same, but most of them only realize that they want to specialize in something when they are finished with 7 years and they've already started working in the specific lines that they want to specialize in. So at this stage, I haven't had too many experience in all the various types of aviation, meaning airlines, charters, contracts, medivacs. There's so many so many types of aviation that I'm not 100% sure where I want to end up. So I definitely see opportunities in South Africa. Definitely. There's a lot of aviation companies in South Africa. If it's not airlines, it will be charters or even contract flying in outstations, but for a South African company. So to answer your question, I wouldn't mind staying in South Africa, but there's also a lot of opportunities abroad. So at the end of the day, it's just what I like and what my specialized route is to go. because I'm not sure where I'll end up, but I can tell you that I'll definitely want to end up flying big planes commercially and for bigger companies, if you can say it that way.
Yeah. So, but you leave the playing field open to see where it leads you. That's actually a very good thing to do, I think, than to have your mind stuck on one specific thing. So you'll see where the opportunities take you.
Yes, a lot of airline pilots that I have gained friends of, they also told me that when they started aviation, all they wanted to do is to become an airline pilot. And that's where they ended up. They ended up being an airline pilot. And then they told me, listen, this is not exactly what I thought it would be, but I'm here now and this is where I'll stay.
Yeah.
So I also promised myself that if I'm lucky enough, and if I'm lucky enough, I don't want work to be torture for me. So I know not a lot of people can say that, and not a lot of people can say that they enjoy 100% of what they're doing. And even pilots won't say, oh, flying is 100% amazing, but I don't want to do something that will discourage me and that I don't like. I want my work to be something that I enjoy going to.
Yeah.
So that's why I made the decision, just to not answer the question as to I want to be an airline pilot or I want to be a corporate pilot one day. For now, I just want to see what is the best path for me, basically.
Basically, you want to end up in an aeroplane flying.
That's it. It. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way to look at it. Yeah, I was going to ask you what your wishes were for the future, but this seems to be that you've already thought about that.
Yeah. Definitely. That question actually came across a lot of times. Even in the company I'm working for now, I mean, you have to have a little bit of planning ahead to know where you want to go to within the company. But luckily for me, the company that I work for is so diverse. They really have so many opportunities, because not only do they do medivacs, they also do charters, they also do corporate flying, they also do contracts. So I think then it's an easy answer for me to just say, I just want to get flying for now. And then after a year or so, ask me this question again, and maybe I'll give you a different answer at the end of the day.
Well, it's I heard an interesting conversation where somebody said that it's not always about the achievement of the goal, but it's about the doing, the everyday pursuing. And that if sometimes people say, oh, if I just get my first book published, then I'll be happy. And then the book gets published and then it's suddenly such an anticlimax. And you are actually now saying exactly that thing, that you have to reset these goals every time, so that you're constantly working towards something. And that's the process, that the process is actually the thing that gives the where you gain the reward from.
Exactly. So my boss at work taught me that set yourself a goal, but don't let it be your end goal. So make a goal for yourself and then work it back. How do you get to that goal? Let's say you need to have an airline transport pilot license to get to that goal. Then how do you get an airline transport pilot license? You need to have 1,500 hours. How do you get the 1,500 hours? You need to have a commercial license. And so set yourself a goal, work back until where you are now, and work towards that goal. As soon as you reach that goal, you change your goal.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you can't be stuck in what you do. You need to have new goals every single time whenever you reach them, because I mean it is reachable, and you do reach your goals, and then you can't just get stuck there.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. But now, what would your advice be for a young boy or girl, interested in aviation today? Where should they start, or what would you advise them to do?
I would advise them to start saving at the age of 14. Like just save and save and save money if they want to pursue the aviation industry. And also it's you need to be willing to do anything that anybody doesn't want to do. You really need to go the extra mile. You really need to do extra in every sense. And also just keep going. Everybody will tell you, just keep on trying, keep on applying, keep on flying. Somewhere something will happen. You just don't stop. That's the biggest thing.
Well, I spoke to a pilot, Nick Hawk, and he said that you get some young guys who start washing the airplanes, for extra money, or for to sort of pay for flying lessons or so. So that type of thing they also do.
Exactly. Don't be scared to ask people. I've learned that whenever you see somebody flying there and you see something happening, people are too scared to ask, listen, can I hop on this plane? Can you help me with this? Or can you help me with that? People are too scared to ask. I mean, you really don't have anything to lose at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just go ask. People can tell you, no, sorry, this can't be done, or it could change your life at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I always believe there's only two outcomes, either yes or no.
Exactly.
Like that. Yeah.
Exactly. That's completely true.
So, but Jacques, this is so interesting to talk to you, and you seem to be very dedicated in what you do, and I would so love to see what how you further your career. Yeah, but you seem to have it all figured out.
I'm glad it comes forward as I have.
Okay.
But every day is a new challenge, and every day something new comes up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of plans, there's a lot of things that I still want to do, but at the end of the day, it's the path you walk on, and everything will happen as it should.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I just have one more question for you, and that is, can you do a shout out for your favorite restaurant or coffee shop?
Yeah, a shout out for my favorite restaurant. So this is very cheesy.
Yeah.
Wait, let me think about it. My favorite restaurant or coffee shop would definitely be the canteen at Lanseria Airport.
Really?
Yes. So it's just literally the canteen at Lanseria Airport. That thing has saved our lives numerous times. So yes, my shout out goes to them. Thank you for helping us, and even if we don't have money with us to help us with coffee,
Really?
That's literally the best coffee shop and restaurant
Amazing. Oh, so
I
there's
would
just
say.
the one, is there just the one coffee shop or the one restaurant that
It's a little canteen at the southern side of the airport.
Okay.
It's not at the main terminal side, so
Yeah.
it's for all the people working at Lanseria, but
Yeah.
it saves lives.
I really well. It sounds like a conductor here at the university, at the music university. He actually did a shout out for the canteen at the music university. So it's the second time that I have this now. This is
More
amazing.
places, yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. But thank you so much, Jacques. This was so lovely to talk to you. And whenever you fly to Vienna, you have to remember me and
Definitely,
let us have a
definitely.
coffee.
No,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely, I
Yeah.
will.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time as well.
It's
I
a
really appreciate
pleasure.
it.
It's very interesting to talk to you.